This is the Chevy Cruze, the first generation, and the majority of these vehicles came with 1.4 turbo Ecotec engine in the USA. This is the engine. It's quite good, quite talented engine, I would say. But still it has some problems. It has a gutted turbocharger, not a bad turbocharger actually, but I've seen them cracking, I've seen them leaking oil. So probably after 150,000 miles, this will be your headache with these turbochargers. And they are not actually usually repaired, they are replaced. They are not so expensive. But anyway, they may be one of the common problems. Also, the engines are pretty reliable, but I have seen timing chains rattling at about 150,000 miles. So the timing chain in these engines, they are not eternal. They will not last for the entire lifespan of this engine, and replacing them, it's not that cheap, especially given these engines have phasers, and phasers can also have problems at 150, 160,000 miles. So probably this is also a serious investment that you need to consider at this point, at this mileage. But usually when it comes to phasers, what's important with these engines, the phasers are okay, but the problem is usually with the controlling solenoid of the phasers, and sometimes the mechanics just replace the phasers when they don't need replacement. Also the thermostats in these engines, thermostats are very faulty. And when thermostats fail, the engine tends to overheat, of course, and overheating kills this engine quite fast. If you see that engine temperature warnings, engine temperature lights, whatever, you need to stop the engine immediately and not drive it when it's hot. It's very important. Let it cool down, then drive it, see if it continues. And if it does, just get the engine repaired as soon as possible. The thermostat is easy to replace, it's not that expensive, but unfortunately it fails quite often. Using bad oil is not a very good idea for this turbocharged engine, because the turbocharger feed pipe is quite thin and it will get clogged with bad oil or with the oil with not proper viscosity. So 5W30 or 0W20, that's what General Motors recommends, and that's the best choice for these engines. Otherwise the turbocharger will fail much earlier than it can. So watch the quality of the oil that you use for these engines. Also, both 1.4 and 1.8 liter engines have this same injection system. Here is the connector for this injection injectors, the one connector for all four injectors. And unfortunately, this system is not perfect, and this connector may fail. And once it fails and works intermittently, you will have a lot of problems. And sometimes it's very difficult to find, even when you read the codes and everything. You don't know about the electrical failures, connector failures here. So this is a problem. This is a problem that needs to be now remembered. And if you can't start your car, it cranks but it doesn't start, this is the first place you should look at. And I would say oil leaks are a feature of this engine. It's not a problem. So you see it's not very clean. That's because the gaskets and seals here are not very perfect, and you just need to replace them once in a while. And the engine is overall quite leaky. So I saw a turbocharger leak. I see some leaks there. I don't even know, but it's oil. I don't know where it comes from, but anyway. So leaking oil is a problem. If it leaks too much, you need to look at it. But if it's just a small leak like this, so it's just a little bit dirty, a little bit wet, oh, that's just okay. For these engines, it's just okay. Also, I recommend using good fuel, because it's a turbocharged engine and it has the system that detects knocking, and the system will cause a lot of problems if you use bad fuel, a low octane fuel, or if you use E85. This engine is not made for E85. So only use good fuel with normal octane number that manufacturer recommends. It's very important for these engines. I believe this 1.4 turbo engines can last about 250,000 miles at maximum without major problems, but after that it's like a lottery. You can drive them. I saw it's 325,000 miles the maximum mileage of these engines, but at that time they were demanding a lot of repairs and they weren't really financially wise to repair. So this is 250,000 miles, I think, is like a perfect mileage for the engines that have been well maintained and only saw good oil and good fuel, something like that.